loom is from the late 1890s. It makes machine Leno, and if you can zoom in, get on the fabric, there's a twist in every pair of warp threads. After each time the shuttle goes, the harnesses not only go up and down, but they cross over each other. And that's a mechanism in the loom. So when we start, we have to make sure that both ends are in the same shed. Okay. So that's a weaving error. You can fix it. You just have to put it in again because these are hanging up.
Okay.
But that's right. Go ahead, because you got to. This is going to make a second because it sucked. So just leave it alone. Okay. So this lever releases the beater so you can move it. This is the clutch that runs the loom. So when we put the clutch in gear, we can watch the shuttles. The only time I can see the shuttle is when it's in the left-hand box. And we want to watch so that the shuttle doesn't run out. One shuttle will need approximately 4 dishcloths, which is about 30 inches. Yeah. So the blade is running between them. Or we'll put the edge thread on here. See it? Okay. Broken thread. Oh, what happened? Broke the warp thread. This is too big of an error to leave. So we'll pull it out. Check the threading on the shuttle. It'll go better to pull that down. Okay, now we're going to back up so that we're not leaving that big of a space. So, this is the reverse lever. It doesn't, I don't know what its name is, but it's the one that releases the take-up so that we can roll it. And to get that much space, you got to give it a good pop, and you can roll it while you have it up. Now, I'll go around and pull it, and then you can decide if you're in the right shed. Therefore, that's open. Let me roll this back forward because we're going to have an ouch. Okay, check your threading. And let's just run a different shuttle. Right, we have right-handed and left-handed, so you go ahead and run it. No, it's a flaw. It'll come out as a second. Go ahead. Go ahead. shuttle hasn't been empty, you don't have to do any advance and backup because it's on the correct spacing. You only have to push it back if you've run out of thread, because it's advancing every time the beater comes forward. So that's in the correct shed, and it didn't run out. So if you start it again, it won't leave a wide space. Give it a try.
So this turns on again.
Yeah, but I want to show you, because before when we broke the thread, we had that space we had to back up. Because you stopped it here for whatever reason, because the shuttle's still got thread on it, if you start it, it'll start and it'll look just like the rest of it. If the edge gets too pointy out here, sometimes you can grab this and pull it down on the pins and tighten just the edge up. This side is fine. But this was starting to creep up, and when it does that, it starts getting bigger spaces on the edge. So you can adjust that while it's running. One pass, this won't stretch far enough, so your one pass, and you stopped it a little bit sooner. Pull it out. Okay. So now little twist hooked in the pipe, which is what causes the break. Okay, now this went one too far. If we weave with it now, we're going to leave a gap about that wide. So we want to pull this, just hit it, and see we went back one row. So when you turn it on now, it should be the correct spacing. And don't worry about the tension, because as soon as it does one stroke, that'll tighten right back up. Let it run. Oh, right.
Turn it on again. This is getting loose. So if we pull it down like this and tighten it, now it'll hold it up. We're going to start it again. Big problem. Okay. So now we need to roll it into the correct shed. Try it from here. Let your brake off. And this is in the box, so you don't have to hold on to this. Just grab the beater and pull it towards you. No, you don't have to hold that because this is open. So grab this decisively forward. Back. There. Now you're in the correct shed again.
That wasn't hard. Right, but that's okay, because when we take this out, the next shot does go that way. So you need some bobbins. Is there? No. But we want to put the next shuttle in before we loosen it up.
Okay. Comes through the hole.
I got it. Thank you. Okay. Now we need to move it back, but you missed it and then we rolled it once. So now it's got to go back further, because see, you've only got 3 showing.
And I should have around 8.
6 or 8, yeah. So if you pull this hard enough, and I put my hand on it so that I can keep it from jumping too far. But now when I pull that back from the back, it'll be the right length.
Is this set to go?
I need to pull it back. Now go look at it.
Oh, there's plenty of room now.
Right. It's actually a little extra, and I'm going to leave it because I want to show you what it does if you have too much.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so we're in, go, yep. Now, watch, because this is long, the beater is got a measured stroke. It goes the same distance every time.
Okay.
So because this is closer, it's going to hit this and shove it forward. And it'll loosen it up for a second, and then it should catch and weave. And if it doesn't, then we have to correct it. But I wanted you to see. Okay, go ahead.
And I did push this back.
Doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't it? All right. How far did that go until I saw that?
Well, you'd have noticed it eventually.
Yeah. There's an awful lot there. Why did that break?
I don't know. Here. You didn't catch the shoe.
Oh, okay. Now, it looked to me like it was caught.
Yeah, but you probably caught it on the flat spot.
Oh.
And it has to be, see there's a flat spot on both sides?
Yep.
You have to catch it on the part, and this is loose. Can I have the screwdriver and I'll tighten this up?
Screwdriver.
Okay. Now it's in there. It's in the slot. But this loosened up and let it out.
And let it out, okay. So it was in there, but it got loose.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave this rather than to take it out. Okay. Start it again. Got a broken thread. Broken hook.
Oh, it fell. Where's our magnet? It's over there.
Okay. We're getting a good lesson today.
Yeah, this is great.
And you can always tell when it happens, even if you can't find the end, that you got a gap.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So we'll go around the other side and fix it. But I'm going to pull this forward and then we're going to lock it so that we can get in here.
There's a hole.
Okay, so this stuff up here is repair threads. And here's your bad thread.
Oh, it broke from this side.
Well, actually it broke over there, but because of the tension it pops back through. Okay, your favorite knot. Square knot. Okay, so now you have to determine where it goes. And there's the empty heddle right there. See it? See it down in here?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So fold this in half, give it a little bit of a twist, and make sure you don't go on the wrong side of the guide. You just slide it in. And then I try and grab it and pull it up because I'm going to lay it on top of the other threads in between so I can grab it. And then we go around the other side and we grab it with the hook and fish it out. Okay, so now keeping in mind we have to stay in the same pair. I've got right there. This one, its mate is right here. This one doesn't have a mate, so that's where it goes. We just go in there with the hook and snag it. And bring out our thread. Sometimes easier to talk about than to do it. Okay, then we want to verify that they're in the same hue. Cross. I got to cross in between and that won't weave. If they twist in between the heddles, they won't weave at all. They'll actually break again. Okay, so here it is up against the guide.
This is the guide.
Right. And here's its mate. Right there.
The heddle.
The heddle with the eye. So we want to make sure that it's going to pass on both sides of that eye.
Oh.
Because that's where the twisting comes in. And then we put it back through its mate with its mate here through the reed. Okay, and that's it. And we push this back and we weave. Okay, So, I don't tie them because I want Dorothy to find the mistake to make a second, right? So I just hold on to it at tension.
So you took it from that side
Right.
and put it on
So to
this
make
side.
sure it's in there, I'm gonna push this. Now, finish pushing it in.
Yes,
That much shortage would stop it in the middle.
okay.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on to this and start it.
Ready? Ready to go?
And then I just cut this. I'm gonna check the weight on the back because that's too loose. Okay, see, this is a mistake, see it?
Oh. Is it caught between? Or is it
It's in the wrong, see, it's on the wrong side. It's on the wrong side of the guide. Now it's in the correct guide, see it?
But the guide is,
Here
yeah, but
and here. So we'll just hook it. Maybe. This is real flexible.
what makes this one tension? And put that in the
Now,
envelope.
we gotta tie a tension knot. So we're gonna do our square knot. And I've gotta tie this so it's at weaving tension.
Okay.
So they cross over. And you make a loop. Through the loop. Pull tension on the one coming from the reel. And it makes a slip knot. Pull it up to tension. Tie over it. Now that's the same tension as the rest of the loom. Okay, we'll go try it again. That'll be fine. If we cut them too short, the tension will slide them out.
Okay. Loose.
Put a little tension this way. Okay, start.
Okay.
So let's walk it back first. Grab that and give it a heck of a jerk. There you go. Now, that should do it. Where's your twist?
Oh. They look like.
But there's your end.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
end has
that's
to
gotta
come
be
to
here.
here. Is this the correct shed or the incorrect shed?
Incorrect because there's
Okay.
a piece up here.
So this breaks off, grab the beater and try and rotate the shed. Watch the blade. Just grab it and pull it towards you.
Okay.
Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. All right, very carefully because you can't muscle the wheel. You don't have enough strength.
That wheel?
Right, okay.
I can.
Huh?
I can.
Okay, but if you take this and very gently bump it, takes it off the dead center. Now you can pull that.
Oh.
Now push it back. Now we got to do it again because we're still on the wrong shed.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay, let me try it once. It's not wanting to rotate over. There you go.
How'd you do that?
There's no shuttle in it, so I had to hold this. Okay? So now we are in the open shed.
And you put one right there.
It's upside down.
Oh.
Marlene has to keep checking to make sure whether it's a right-handed shuttle or a left-handed shuttle. The one she's using is a left-handed shuttle because when you hold it, the thread comes out on the left. This is a right-handed shuttle because the thread comes out on the right. The thread has to face the weaver for it to work right. Okay, now because you pulled back, you should have enough space here so we can start weaving it again. It broke, no, it broke.
Oh, it broke.
See, here's where it broke.
Oh.
Then it had a tail that hung up and it flapped out and caught. So we need to pull this all the way out. Okay, so we're gonna have to go back. To know if you have to release that, pull on this. There. Okay. So now we need to go wind it back. When she takes the brake off, there's a 25-pound weight she's got to take off. There's a lever she has to stand on, and then when she pulls it back, now she's got to put the 25-pound weight back on. Okay.
Okay. Now
Right shed, wrong shed.
open. Wrong shed.
Okay. So you want to try and roll it over again. Push the brake down.
This?
Yep. Now, if you can, hold on to the lever, pull it forward, and now roll the loom. See if it'll roll for you. There. Right shed, wrong shed. Just
Still twisted.
grab this, and that is not twisted, and that's the shed
Oh,
you're
that's
in.
the shed
This
we're
is the
looking
shed you're in.
Okay.
Okay, so here's your shuttle back. You need to re-thread it. And we'll cut off some of this slack because it's been on the floor. Okay, now it won't go all the way in. We've got that much space. That'll,
Tune that here.
yep. And you only have to nudge it a little bit. Okay, you're ready to go.
And this isn't too much, is it?
No, you're fine. That's all right. You'll spot them. See what is causing that. All right. Now, I grab them back here, and I'm pulling them, and I can pull that flaw out. Our weights are contaminated back here. Okay, that should fix that. If the weights don't hang free, they won't pull tension. No, that's all right.
Is it okay?
That's no longer a flaw. It'll be fine.
Okay, but here.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. They're fine.
All right.
All right, now I would recommend that we cut this.
Cut this and start again. So, are we in the
All right, wait.
validity? No.
Put the brake down.
Down.
Now, no, we're going to bring it forward.
Come on.
And push it back and through it. Now we'll cut it off and we're on an open shed. If you cut it where it was, you'd have been unclosed and you'd have had to roll it over anyway. That would be a so I don't care which one you use. No problem. Okay. We haven't fun yet. Okay. Now, is it in the shoe in the back? Yep.
Okay, now goes with this.
Hold on to the tail.
So that will go.
Okay.
Ready.
Now, because we cut it, we are exactly where the beater's going to hit the next time. So we don't need to advance it or roll it or anything. So if you can stop it before it runs dead out, then you don't have to mess with the weight of the loom moving it back and forth.
Okay.
Okay? Go ahead.
supposed to get a whole one this time.
Now, where are you looking at the bobbin to see how much? Okay. I can't see it there. It doesn't stop long enough. I can't focus quick enough. I watch it in this box.
Oh, okay.
And
Why?
because it's a distance away and I have a better chance of focusing on it. Okay, so we need leave it in there because I want to roll it over. Now we're in the correct shed. Okay. When the bobbin gets about this much thread left on it, it's time to stop. Because it's only going to have one more track and it's going to be out.
One more
now, we're clear inside the temple, so we've got to pull it back because it ran out.
Which means we release this.
Right, and give it a good jerk so that it goes far enough. Okay, and you can always pull. No, we got plenty.
Okay.
So go pull it back.
Did you pull this side too?
No,
Okay.
that's the shed we want to be in. Okay. Now this is the part you have trouble with. I can do it barehanded. When I do this, I push in and roll under. So push in with your hand. Now turn it under. Try it again. Okay, you don't have the muscles. Okay. There. So that's all the more reason not to run out of thread.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this one threads a little different. This one we have to thread with a hook. Okay. Now you're gaining some confidence.
Yeah. It helps to have all these mistakes.
Well, and I can never tell if it's going to make mistakes.
No.
So, okay.
Okay, we have enough here, and there, it's in the right shed. Good work. It's back far enough.
That's a little short.
So,
Okay, so with that amount of thread, we're going to get one, two. You're going to get about 4 more shots.
oh.
Okay, so that was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't mind wasting that much yarn, but you need to learn to gauge where you're going to run out. Okay.
Look closer again.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Go ahead.
Now, that's tight enough?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Now, see, now you've got just one shot. And you're out. So you just have to gauge, and the only way to do it is by how many times I have to go backwards. The other thing I wanted to show you, if it's too far forward and you can't roll it under, this will go forward without taking the brake off.
Oh.
You can let it off a little bit here without taking the brake off.
Okay.
Okay?
I wonder if I can do that.
I doubt it. Watch your feet. No, over your foot,
Oh, yeah.
you had it right over your toes. You'll notice where my feet are when I pick it up that way.
Okay. Yeah.
You had your foot under here, it gets that on top of your foot and you don't have enough leverage on the wheel. Okay?
Okay.
I think I've had enough noise for a little while.
I
Let's
think
work
so.
on the reel. Okay, so we've got 2 sections finished. This is 5 yards around. We're going to do 6 sections, but we have to cut this section loose. So you want to pull a little thread forward, and you want to be sure you're holding on to the threads coming through the spacer reed. So you can cut it here, lay that down. It's not going anywhere. And then we want to tie this off so we don't lose it. Then we just tie kind of a overhand and pick up a few threads and stick it under. Okay, we're going to move all of these center ones out. No, on the red lines.
Oh, the red line.
Red line is the,
And they go this way.
they point out, and you need to make sure these are pointing out. So here's one. This can be very tedious, but if it isn't done correctly, you're going to pay for it later. These pins hold the sections so that we can stack thread. We're warping for 16 gross of washcloths, 8 colors to a side. And we've done the color section and the white section. We're going to do the color section in reverse. Then we'll move on to do the second set of washcloths. Okay, that's all the way around. Okay, so we have to move this spacer over. There's a thumb nut under here. We turn it and get it sort of lined up. And now we have to change the colors back there. So we'll put our red on, which is our first color.
So we have to break one and
Yep.
put the color on.
And when you take these off, turn them upside down. The white ones upside down, so we know that they're not supposed to be running. Cones always have to come off the top. It's the way they're designed so that they maintain the twist of the yarn.
This is a square knot and I am learning.
You'll get it eventually.
Eventually.
The only reason, if you don't, you can tie a do not, but if you do that, we end up with it pulling loose while you're weaving.
Mm,
And we don't want to go there.
no. Where'd you put that other reel? Or it doesn't
At the
matter?
end.
Okay.
Just so that it's upside down, so that whoever's watching back here doesn't
Doesn't
see,
expect a
a
string
thread
to
to
be
be off of it, yeah. Okay, now we want to pull these red threads through so that they go up to the reel. And that's when I told you, on this thing, we have these marked. So we want to take this one and its mate, and when I pull these, skip 2, take the next 2, and pull these, you can see them coming off down there. Okay, so we got to get these out. There they go. Otherwise, we'll have that much yardage that has no stripe. And that isn't a good thing. Okay. Get rid of these. Tie the red ones in. So you'd have this much weaving that would have no stripes if we didn't do this. Okay. So now we have to tie this on, and then we're going to save the cross, your favorite part.
So tie it onto that string.
Right. So over the top, and then I fold this over my finger and grab it, and it makes 2 loops. You put this knot in that loop like that and let go, and it pulls up tight. So, okay, so now we have to do the cross. Okay, so you're going to take your hand and you're going to go in between the slots and the holes, and you're just going to go across and make sure that you get all the ups and downs.
All the ups from the downs. These are the ups.
Right, these are the ups.
Okay.
Okay, and we do this so that tying onto the loom later will be easier. So you're going to tie that up.
Right back here.
Yep. Try not to catch any of the downs. There you go. And then you're going to tie the downs. Now the guys don't understand this, and they question me every time I make them stop so that I can do it. But it does make the weave tying on at the other end better. Okay, so now we need to reverse it. So now the slots are up. And if we go through here like this,
We got one.
and then change. And if you hold onto this tight, these will fall out. There you go. So now we tie our ups and downs again on that side.
On this side back here.
Mhm.
Okay.
It seems like a little thing, but what this is doing, it's keeping the threads in the order that they're going on, so that when we go to tie the loom up, we get everything as close to straight through as we can. Okay, now we got to set our computer. You guys will love this. Turn this, pull it out and back. Line that up with the white groove
Or one past the white groove.
right there. Tighten it up. And then these all turn together, so you get this back to 0. Okay. So
Now we're ready?
now, no, we're going to turn it once by hand to make sure we're lined up. So, and we're not.
That's right.
So we have to get in the middle of the pegs. And so we go around, come on.
That looks a little off to this side.
Yeah, it is. I always end up to the left. But you want to go around once, trying not to touch too many of the pegs so that it doesn't pile up. And if it's missing the majority of them, okay, let's find that one that fell out. There it is. These flattened ones. Okay, that looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you'll have to have Bob show you and David how to hook this up. It's pretty straightforward. We've got a gear reduction that's running this at a speed that's manageable. Okay?
So it's already hooked up, isn't it?
Right, but I mean, it's not hooked up all the time.
Oh,
You gotta make sure this gear is back in here, and now you can move the clutch.
there's always a...
Yeah, there's a, yeah, it has to think about it before it starts. Now, all the threads back here that are right side up should be running.
It looks like 2 will be ready to...
Yep, and we have spares for that. We can use the ones we took off the top to
Okay.
replace those.
And you will tie the bottom string onto the top string of this one, right? Okay.
Now on the counter, we're going from white mark to white mark. When this mark gets to this groove, we stop and change colors. It's kind of like watching paint dry, but if you don't do it right, you're going to pay for it later.
And we have to watch that no strings are breaking.
Right. And you'll see them right away, because when they break, they spring up like a spring.
There's a tension in there.
Right. Now, one section is approximately 1 gross of dishcloths. So when we're done, there'll be 16 gross of dishcloths on this reel. And then all of that gets wound onto the beam. And it's good to try and have the same person watching the counter so that they're starting and stopping at the same place. Because if I stop it short or long of where Bob stopped it, we could have 2.5 to 5 yards difference in the color change from one side to the other. That doesn't mean one person can't get it wrong. It's just easier to get it wrong when you have more than one person. We don't run this on the overhead shaft. We can, but if we do, it runs so fast we can't control it. And like everything else about weaving, there's a lot of boring bits before you get to the fun. we don't have to film this through the color change. I just want to get to it before I stop it. Because it doesn't get any more exciting than this.
Now we'll be changing the inside,
To blue.
the two inside red ones to blue.
Right, correct. I try not to stop in the middle of a section if I don't have to. There's no sense in messing with the tension if you don't have to. Almost there.
Now, has this ever been done by hand? You can do this by hand.
Oh yeah, you have to pull it by hand. And it's very tiring. And after the guys had to do it by hand for a while, they came up with the gear reduction motor. Yeah, I've got 2 more revolutions. We have never made a warp that all the colors changed at exactly the same time. It's just not precise enough for that. Okay, 1 more revolution and we'll shut it off. Now when I count revolutions, I count this peg up here, level with this. This one. But we need to shut it off because I know Bob doesn't. So go ahead and hit it off. Okay, that's it.
Now what we'll do is change the color and
And
tie them back there and just
and-
let it go
And
through.
let it go through and do its own thing.
Uh-huh, okay.
And we just keep doing that till we get all 8 colors on. Then we plan the second side with a different combination and we do the same thing again.
Oh, so we'll do a different combination.
Right, we have a lot of other colors that
Uh-huh.
we'll use. Like we use the sage green and the forest green together.
Mm-hmm.
We do red and green and burgundy and forest for Christmas colors.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple other combinations that we do. So I try to do 16 different colors per warp. Okay.
Okay, now when all of this is finished, then we'll be putting it onto that, right?
Right. That beam comes and sits in these pegs. This gear goes on the end so that it runs on the power. And I'm sorry, I'm not feeling strong enough to pick up my end of it.
That's right.
I'm not supposed to pick up that much weight.
No.
So, whoop.
Okay.
Hopefully we have enough film. And so far the only thing we haven't done is the beam, and we can't do that until we get this full.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Okay.
think we're done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.